So good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne. I'm here live on the Donny Cycling YouTube channel, and we are going to be bringing you all of the action from the Donny Chaingang coming out to you live. And this is the anniversary, the 1 year anniversary of starting the Donny Chaingang. I know, amazing, isn't it? That year has flown by. We started in the very first lockdown, and we've run right the way through. We haven't missed a week. In fact, we have been bringing you the Chaingang pretty much all the way through. As most of you know, I'm down here in the studio, down in the old beer cellar, down where we are in Eckington in Sheffield, and been fortunate enough with the year's anniversary to actually bump into Russ, or rather have Russ at least stick his head in the doorway of the house today and drop off a few bits and pieces for us, which is great, and pick up some other things, and of course have a chat about where we're going in the future. So a few things just to let you know. Yes, it's a year. Yes, we're not going anywhere. We're staying here. We're going to keep on going all the way through. We have got some big plans all the way through to the end of the year. We've got some great routes coming up. We've got more and more support on the way through. And before we do anything else, thank you. If you have ridden the Chaingang, if you've told your friends about it, if you joined the Facebook page, if you joined the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, if you subscribe for a ride, if you just basically just tell everybody about it, thank you very much. And if you've watched shows, then even better. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. On the Donny Cycling YouTube channel, you'll get all of the past shows. Now, if you're watching last night, you'll know that in the middle of the show, we managed to have a blackout for pretty much the first time on the way through, and everybody's screens just disappeared, including mine. And in the darkness, we managed to press all the reset buttons, and it is seamless. And I got to say a big thank you to Tim, who has stitched the two parts of yesterday's program together on YouTube. So don't forget to go on and watch back the finale of the last block of the Women's Wednesdays for the moment. Don't worry, we will be bringing you some more specials, some more one-offs through the summer. But of course, we're well aware it's getting sunnier, and more and more people wanted to ride through the week as well as ride on the Chaingang. Now, to celebrate 1 year on the Chaingang, we're in the Champs-Élysées. We're in France. We thought, should we do a bubbly? Should we get a bottle? No. Do you know what? This is the Donny Chaingang. We're going to have a celebratory beer or two. Now, if you're a member of the DCG gang, that's the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, you'll have had an email this evening, and in that it tells you all of the details. We have teamed up with the great gang who are here, and that is at the Cold Bath Brewing Company, and this is all part of the package you can get. We've got a proper musette for you from Cold Bath Brewing Company, 6 beers, bottle opener, and of course in there a little secret gift from Donny Chaingang as well, from Russ and myself. And if you're a member of the DCG gang, you get a discount on it as well. So make sure you go on, click on the links, grab yourself a beer, and we're really looking forward to celebrating that year with you and going on to year number 2. Now, let's have a look at where we're going to be heading tonight, because we are going to be heading out into Paris on the Champs-Élysées. I'm going to pop that on one side of the music. Don't want to ruin that. That'd be no good. We're going to hang it up on the wall in the studio in a bit. And we are going to be heading around the Champs-Élysées, the classic finishing circuit for the Tour de France, and leading the ride as usual is going to be Russ Downing. Russ, of course, the Bear, Fonzie, as everybody knows him. Let's have a quick chat with Russ. How are you doing, Russ?
Hey, up, Matt. Long time no see and all that.
I know, anyone would think we were chatting just earlier on today.
I'm not going to lie to you, I enjoyed that tailwind over rather than the headwind to yours, so yeah.
Yeah, but it is all uphill out from my house. Every direction, and there's a dirty great hill, it has to be said.
Roll out of yours, go down past the golf course, relax, and then it's like, right, brace yourself, you've got to go uphill now.
It is a bit of a hill, but if you got blown home, that's always a bonus. I'm not so sure there's going to be a tailwind on the Chaingang today, because this is a tough course. I raced this last weekend, in fact, on Swift, and it is a brutal course. Lots of trigger points around the circuit for people to really push on.
Yeah, you always think of the Champs-Élysées as flat. Well, most people do, but you know, in the Tour they're always hurting up there. And first time we rode it, it was like, oh, it's round the top, round the Arc de Triomphe. It gets really grippy, and think what Matt Stevens calls it nasty or spicy or something. When he comes on, he loves it. So, yeah, it should be good fun. We've got 6 laps around here tonight. Bit of a 3.2k lead in, and then throw a little spanner in the works. We like to change the banners up. We sometimes go orange, we sometimes go green. So we're going green tonight, uphill sprint, and like I said, we picked the banner that's closest to the end of the ride. So the green one is closest to the 45 mark of the ride. So yeah, let's have a bash for that. So
uphill sprint finish, which will make it a little bit more difficult for the big sprinters, but it's a tough circuit that they can actually work people over on the downhills as well. It is possible to get a breakaway, particularly with the new drafting. We saw that last night when we were on the women's Chaingang. Group of 3 riders attacked up on the hill, broke away, and then one rider going clear with a couple of laps to go. It is doable to actually stay away a little bit better. It does make for a very exciting finish once the go is gone. But of course, the Chaingang is about everybody. We've got a real mix of riders again tonight. And we're going to have our red beacon in operation. I think is somebody who was absolutely flying last night. And that is Chloe Gagan is our beacon tonight. And I'm sure she's going to have quite a few people in the red party bus.
Yeah, and I saw her posted on Facebook here that it's party bus and offering drinks and things. I'm going to have to get in this red beacon party bus. So I think, coming through the summer, I might have a little auction off the yellow beacon roll, and I'll just slot back into red. So, I'll throw a little competition in there, to see who fancies controlling the gang for a night.
Could be very entertaining.
Could be very entertaining.
For sure. Yeah, I think we might have to offer that out around the DCG gang members. And of course, we've got to say a massive thank you to them, because their support has been invaluable in getting us to the end of this year and looking forward to the next.
Yeah, popped up on my Facebook memory earlier. I knew it was about the 7th or something, or April, the first one, Meetups for a couple of weeks, and then I think about a month in we got the actual event on Zwift. So where's that time gone? And like you just said, a massive thank you for everyone for keeping the show on the road, from members, donators, supporters, the companies who are providing back for the gang. So yeah, it's just a great community now, and let's just keep it rolling and keep it growing.
Definitely. So it's going to be very interesting to see how we go tonight. Everybody hopefully has learned what to do over the last year. And with just over 2.5 minutes to go, better let you get back to keep everybody on their toes. So thanks, Russ. We'll try and grab you part way through, although I'm not going to guarantee that one tonight. Let's see how the tech pans out.
Yeah, I hope you don't have a bit of a blowout you did last night. What? You were in different tyres or something, man. Did it pop out?
It felt like it. The studio literally did go bang last night, and where the main PC processor is, it's right in front of me. So yeah, it was an interesting few minutes, it has to be said. So hopefully tonight, nice and calm. Drink the Grand Tour coffee, the Yellow Beacon blend. I'm not on double day blend yet, so let's see how we go.
Running tubeless tonight, then.
It's all full of halo sealant, don't you worry. Right, mate.
Halo sealant and cold bath beer. Just pump it in, and you'll stay upright.
Cheers, mate. Thanks. I might try that one day. Don't try that at home, kids. Cheers. We'll see you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
So great to catch up with Russ there. And don't forget, of course, you can get involved with the Chaingang on the Facebook page. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. And, of course, make sure you get on the ride, because that's what it's all about. Even I've ridden a Donny Chaingang, and if I can do it, come on, anyone can do it. Let's show you what we've got coming up for you. We will go over to our fantastic map, courtesy of Zwift Hacks. And as you can see, the long red run-in is 3.2 kilometres, as Russ was saying. So 3.2k run-in. And then it is a full lap of the Champs-Elysee. Now it starts off up the hill towards the Lutèce sprint before dropping back down and round. And we are going to finish on that green sprint line after 6 full laps, which should be a distance of 44.1k. Our riders are going to be heading out, and they're going to be heading up on to the climb. And as we were saying, it is not flat. And as you can see, a Velo Viewer who have supported us from the off. A massive thank you to Ben at Velo Viewer for all of their support in the graphics and in the stats department. It shows you exactly where we're going to be heading. And as you can see, the course itself, the panhandle, is a climb up to the turn at the top of the Champs-Elysee, which is the Arc de Triomphe turn. That's at 2k. You roll back the way down, and then you come round, and in fact, the end of the shovel, the actual flat shovel part, the blade part, actually has a dip down underneath the underpass. That's another trigger point to put an attack in once the go has gone. 6 laps of 34 metres means that once we've completed our roll in, we have 204 metres of climbing. Now, our riders just look to be getting underway and starting to head out at the moment. We are going to probably be following at least 1 or 2 of the members tonight on the way round. And let's take a little bit of a look across, because I suspect the ride just up and running. We're just in and watching Ian Taylor at the moment. Now, remember, the Chaingang is brought to you, and it is because of people supporting our riders. So people like Ian Taylor, 1080 and Oakley. Next week is 1080 week with Oakley. Here Comes the Sun week. And if you want to win yourself a pair of Oakley Sutros to be in with a chance of winning them, you need to be a member of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. And Ian from 1080, who's on the far side of our screens at the moment there in the white on the yellow Tron bike, he has donated 2 pairs of Oakley Sutros, one for the Tuesday and one for the Thursday, plus bundles of goodies from Oakley. He did that last night for the last women's block in the Women's Wednesdays. He's doing the same again next week. And the guys who support the Chain Gang, they make it happen. They support our riders support the gang, and everybody gets to ride it, and we get to bring you all of the action. So you can see them just down the bottom down there, everybody who helps make it happen, plus a few more besides, and you'll see them rolling around just up on the ticket. You can see it just up there, the fellow viewer at the moment, and it will scroll through all of the people who are helping us provide us with prizes on the way through. So please, guys, make sure you support the people who support your sport, people like Ian Taylor from 1080, who you can see on your screen on his way through, just rolling around behind us. So let's get down to the action here on Zwift on the Donny Cycling YouTube channel with me, Matt Payne. It's the Donny Chaingang. So our riders up already. The yellow beacon are trying to hold everything together. Our red beacon is going to be Chloe Gagan, and Gagan just rolling a little bit further back down that straight at the moment. Remember, Zwift only shows us 100 riders each time. And at the moment, the gang are looking like they're rolling along really well at the moment. So let's take a little bit of a hunt through the group, and we're going to work our way and see if we can pick up our beacon, who is going to be Chloe, a rider who was riding really strongly last night, and I think we're going to see her riding strongly again tonight. Certainly one of our faster riders. So jump in with Russ first of all, see if we can pick up Russ on the way through. So the cobbles here on Zwift really do play havoc with the riders if they're not careful. So just keeping an eye on this group. Russ here in the Mondrian Levicle strip. Of course, the team of Greg LeMond and the gang all riding down into this underpass. You can just see on this run in, the climb on the other side does kick up. Russ with a pair of deep rim on the front and disc wheel on the rear. A really fast setup on that Pinarello, and you can just see that yellow Pinarello of the yellow beacon working its way down the straight here. So remember, watch the numbers on your screen if you're riding. If you're listening in live, make sure you keep an eye on the group. Remember, the aim of this is to keep everybody together initially as we work our way around a circuit. Now, our red beacon is Chloe Gagan, and we're going to jump in with Chloe. And looks like Chloe just looking to pick up a few of the riders on the gang. And Chloe, one of our fast female riders, riding for the Cryogen team, and currently with 1.92k on the clock. And kicking out a couple of 100 watts on the way over the slight rise out from there, and the riders here, 1 or 2 riders already is feeling the pace. I know a number of riders were riding strongly last night. Looks like Mr. Ambrose, Dave Ambrose, one of our members of the DCG gang, along with Chloe, just about to get picked up. And I think we're going to see Miss Cookie as well. So let's have a little look. Looks sort of like Sarah Grimshaw being picked up with the red beacon here, and the beacon, Dave Ambrose, Chloe Gagan and Miss Cookie together. Now Richard Musher is not all that far in front, actually, and I think he's going to be making that a group of 4 fairly quickly. We're just going to take a little bit of a look. I think Marshall at the moment just trying to push back in to the main group, but remember, once you are distanced from the main pack, it does pay to hold on to the gang as long as you can, because once you're off the group, it is about finding another pack to hold on to. So it looks sort of like Tickers here going to be finding a number of riders starting to come together behind him. Our red beacon is in the background. As you can see, the the orange arch is at the bottom of the hill. You can see where the yellow beacon is up in front. Looks like Mark Grant just putting on the aero boost on his way through. It looks like Sonia Inslee just up the road here, and we're going to jump in with Sonia, next rider up the road from Mark. So Mark chasing behind at about 3 seconds. So keeping an eye on them as they come up the hill. So let's have a little bit of a look who's just in front. Looks like Bass here from the Ceros Division squad. And then it's going to be Marshall on the chase here to get into the back of the pack. Looks like Mary O'Shea, another of our riders who was riding yesterday, just in that group. Mary was riding really strongly in that front group for a long time at the go until those rather vicious attacks on the final run in. And as you can see, this climb up towards the sprint line, it is a substantial climb. You can see it roller coasters as well, and this is critical on the run in to the archway, is to know that you've got a little bit of a drop down. We'll roll over here with Mary, one of our regular riders here, and as you can see, I think Craig Herring just pushing in to that group. Locks in there, Dobson in the group, Russ rolling at the same area, Mr. Thorpe in there. We know he's going to rely on Mr. Thorpe to be pushing a little bit further. Now Easy's off it, you can see the gradient now. Mary in the pink here, sitting on Mark's wheel. He knows exactly how to save energy. 1% here, it feels like a downhill, but this is where you then need to kick for the top of the hill if you are in the run. So as we hit the green banner now, it is 6 laps to go as we hit the banner. So one long line. The rider first over the line actually was Kai Hurst of East Devon. Remember, Kai? You remember that thing that said stay with the yellow beacon? Make sure you do, mate. So watching our riders come up, looks like Jan Taylor already riding strongly up here as well, and all these riders making their way up the straight. We'll see them coming around the turn. We're going to get a little bit of height on our riders by jumping up with the helicopter at the moment, and the riders, as they come up towards the top, will be going around the Arc de Triomphe here in Paris. This faithful representation is here, and as you can see, the riders streaming around the corner. This is where the gaps open though, and this is because you go over the top unless you push all the way in to the rider in front. As you come around, the gaps will open, and then you've got to chase really hard to pull the gaps back down. So Craig Herring just keeping a little bit of a gap between him and the riders in front, and I think if we jump in with Craig at the moment, Craig, one of our regular riders on the Chaingang, he does a lot of work helping the riders behind, and you can see Phillips and Fletcher working on the way back. Hi Craig, giving us a wave, and don't forget this is all about getting on the wheel, so you can't afford to let the gaps go on the exit going over the top. And as our group comes in and through, our drone just seeing the red beacon group in the distance, so we can just see the red beacon group going up towards the Arc de Triomphe. Meanwhile, as these sort of riders now just rolling in with Craig as he pushes up to the yellow beacon. Remember, this is going to be the aim, to stay with the yellow beacon with the bear. Good to see, in fact, the only rider who has been a yellow beacon on the standard Tuesday and Thursday Chaingang, that is Jimmy Allen in here. So good to see Jimmy on the way down the hill here, and Jimmy rolling in that same Mondrian kit, and in fact got slightly better wheels than Russ because he's got the multicoloured discs, and Jimmy knows how to ride this. He sat just inside that back, but Jimmy with the multicoloured disc on the back there, and the deep rim looking pretty smooth here, 73 revs per minute now. In terms of yellow beacons, don't forget, of course, we've got our yellow beacon in Emma Payne. Emma, of course, our yellow beacon on the Women's Wednesdays. And for those of you just asking if we're going to continue them through the summer, we are going to do some specials, but we're not going to keep them running all the way through. Lots of outdoor riding, lots of coaching to be doing, and lots of sunshine, hopefully, over the course of the winter. Now, if you're in the group, remember you need to be looking at your screen. If you zoom in on the map, we can see that there are three distinct groups here. We've got Group 1, known as the Muppet Show, Group 2, which is known as the Muppet Wannabes, and Group 3, which is our main group. And as you can see, those groups in front decided they don't want to be an animated bit of fur. They want to be a proper bear and ride with the bear. And remember this, on the first anniversary, Russ the Bear Downing sat in the group just on the wheel of Jimmy Allen. We're just going to jump in if we can with Russ. Never know, we rarely do this to Russ, but let's give him a ride on from commentary. There we go, down in the middle of his yellow there, so here we go. So no, my voice isn't lower. It can't get any lower. We're currently blowing it off the scale. It is your computer, mate. I hate to break it to you. I didn't make it any louder because we will blow the top off the speaker. The big issue that we tend to get is because we are on the cobbles, it is going to be a little bit louder in terms of the background noise. Now let's go ahead across and let's see who else we've got riding out on the group, because it is looking pretty smooth out there at the minute. Up on the helicopter shot, you see it's coming down by the side of the Seine, and just keeping an eye on our riders here. Looks like Mr. Woodbridge is in here. And Daryl is in here as well. Daryl TW, the winner of the fantastic giveaway from Halo Wheels. I will get him yet. It will happen on the way through. So the back of the group looking pretty steady. Just in with Mr. Whitelaw here. And don't forget... looks like the gang all together. Mr. Whitelaw sitting on the back. Very aggressive ride from him on the climb up on the volcano. And wannabe Muppet, my good friend Andy Hawes, made his way back to the yellow beacon. Thank you, Andy. Drag them all in with you. That's what we want to see. Now, looks like there are a few more riders jumping in with the red beacon. We're going to drop in with the red beacon, and I can see there is going to be a bit of a group coming up. Well, look at this. Tickers and Mush are just going to make this a group of 5, I think, at the moment. So, Chloe, just do some great communication. It's key when you're at the red beacon. We saw that last night with Lawson, the AO rider, Laura Lawson, doing the red beacon's duties, doing a fantastic job last night on the women's Chaingang. And Chloe Gagan, who was right up at the front last night on the back here. And as Cookie says, she's not even dropped a croissant. The pace is superb here. So jump on the wheels, guys. This is what it's all about. We want to see our riders all working together, and what a great group already here with our red beacon. We always said that the beacon group was one of the key things we were looking for, was to try and get an inclusive ride, and that's what this does. So here we go. Looks like if Mr. Simonite just kicking his way in to the group here. Come on, mate, big kick, getting those wheels sharpish, or they will if you're behind the red beacon on a good pace here. And you can just see Simonite now pushing up to 3 watts per kilo to get in with the group. We're going to drop across to Russ, who at the moment looks to be being dropped by his own group, but he's not. It's all about the rendering of the screen. Today's technical term, the rendering of the screen by Zwift. You get 100 riders at a time. Now, if Russ is outside of that nearest 100 riders, when we go back, he always shows up. Our red and yellow beacon are visible by everyone. So people saying they can't see the yellow beacon, it means you must be at the other end of the course. It's really simple. Top right hand side of your screen, you will see the red and yellow beacons on your screen if they are anywhere near you. If you can't see them on the zoomed out or zoomed in map, it means you are miles, or in this case, because we're in France, kilometers down the road. Although on Zwift, big tip from those that know, make sure you set your Zwift to kilometers, because you will rack up the points and get you better kit faster. Is a point per kilometre or a point per mile, and as most people know, it's 1.6 kilometres to the mile, so you get an extra 0.6 of a point every time you ride a mile. Key thing, don't put it in imperial, make sure that it is set up in kilometres. As you can see, Russ is set 4 kilometres, and that's how you maximise the points. Points mean better kit in the garage, and that's how you can buy pretty much everything that you see on the bikes and the riders kit, except the Tron bike. That's the Zwift concept bike, and the concept bike, well, that comes when you ride 50,000 metres now through underneath the archway, and this group now going onto this long drag up, and you can see that height ascent looking up to the Arc de Triomphe. This group rolling around really nicely. It's a nice big pack. It's much quicker if you roll as a pack, that is for sure. And it looks like I am going to have to bin all my Muppet references, because absolutely everybody back in this pack, nobody off down the road, and that is what we want to see. Well done, guys. Thank you so much. It does mean that it's a smoother, faster ride for everybody. And looks like at the moment our beacon group here with Mushet along with Ambrose, Tickers and Cookie, just pushing the way along the pan section, the flat pan section of the shovel before going up on towards the handle here. And looks like Ambrose just closing that gap down to the red beacon at the moment. So great to see these riders are riding so strongly. We're going to jump up the road here. Looks like at least one rider just having a little bit of an issue with, I think there'll be a dropout, because there's plenty of power coming out of the legs here. But looks like the back of the pack is currently 16 seconds up the road. Now, Paul Whitelaw, Tristan Emptage, side by side at the back here. Paul in the orange, Tristan in the black and white kit. Just going on to Hutchinson, who is in the blue GB kit's wheel there. And as you can see, these riders looking pretty smooth on this climb. Hutchinson, of course, one of our younger riders, but we do have a real range of ages on here. Currently, the person in line for the bags is actually with our red beacon group in line for that bag of yellow beacon blend coffee at 64 years old. 64, the current record for the oldest person on the Chaingang. If you've been on the Chaingang and you're older, let us know on Facebook, join the Facebook group, and we will be looking to send you a bag of yellow beacon coffee. Remember that yellow Beacon Coffee, that blend with the bear on the front. It is absolutely superb. Now, let's take a little look up through this group whilst they're all behaving themselves. Looks like Marshall sat in this group, 232 watts. Goddard, another regular when it gets faster. The fat cyclist feels older, but that's because you've done a year of the DCG, mate. It does it to you. You would have tried this end. Now, let's have a look. Neil, my co-host on the Crosscast, in here, and looking forward to seeing Neil at some real events soon. You never know. It could yet happen as we make our way up towards the top of the sprint line. The sprint line, of course, where the lap will finish now. As you can see, this group are working their way up here very, very quickly indeed, looking very good. We've got 5 laps to go, and you can see by the volume of PBs being set here, fastest times on the circuit, that our riders are definitely hammering the way up here very, very quickly indeed. So just jumping in with Smith at the moment, another of our regular riders on the Chaingang, then Mr. Coleman now. Dan Coleman, a very quick and aggressive rider. Is he going to be going for it when the rider winds itself up once Russ gives that signal? At the moment, looks like Dan just dropping back to help out. And as you can see, this is a really critical part of the ride as we come onto the flat around the Arc de Triomphe. You can see those gaps opening out, and in fact, if we go up to the helicopter shot up in the sky, you can see those gaps open. It's 3 bike lengths is the distance you can leave before you're being distanced by the group, and at the moment it is still getting distance around the top of the pack. So if it accelerates up to 3 watts per kilo as it goes over the crest, the back are going to really need to push now to stay in with this group. So if we jump back in with Dan Coleman, you can see 1 or 2 riders on the back just starting to feel the pressure, and they are going to be in trouble unless they push up. Dan Coleman clearly seeing the danger and seeing gaps open between himself and that yellow beacon group, and this is where people have got to be attentive. If they get distance now, they're not going to get back on again. You're just taking a little look. It looks like Dixon along with Liam in here. So just taking a little look. Looks like the Army cycling Masoon here just being distanced. He's got to keep that pace up now. You can see the amount of effort to get back onto this group. 4 watts per kilo being kicked out by our rider behind, and at the moment that gap is 6 seconds to the back of the pack, 5 seconds to the back of the pack, and really does have to work to get that group back. 2 seconds, there is going to be a chance to use some draft with Liam and Dixon here, but it is going to be tight, and that gap is opening. You can see the pressure absolutely hammering here, and Masoon, I think, has blown that by that gap opened, didn't close down the wheels fast enough now with Dowtrey. Taylor at the moment just being distanced here, and the riders in front, Craig Herring just bringing 1 or 2 riders on. Gurnhill now has to take up the pace here with Dowtrey, and these riders do need to take the pace up or they are going to be in trouble. Taylor in the orange and blue at the moment is second back, and that's going to be about 15 metres. That draft has gone. Gurnhill just about dangling in trouble here. He's got to pick that pace up, got to stay in those wheels. Looks like Dowtrey clearly aware of the danger here. You can see the gaps are opening up here now. Thorpe is with Herring. These 2 are working hard, and it looks like Herring and Thorpe doing a fantastic job. This duo are dropping back to pull riders back on, and this is the Chaingang spirit, but it's going to be a big ask. You can see Thorpe here, he's aware of that gap. He's doing to do nearly 7 watts per kilo to stay in the back of this group as we come down towards the split, where we go right towards the Seine. And you can see that the gaps just open once you go into the top of the hill. It opens up as you go over the top, and that is it. You are in trouble if you're not on that group. And it looks to me like at the moment the back of the pack has got Bass at the moment from the Serra Cycle Division team on Jimmy Allen's wheel. Craig Guthrie there, Ian Bibby in this group. Looks like Bibby sitting or surfing the wheels just a little bit closer to the back. So it looks like Herring and Thorpe working really hard to try and bring everybody in. Looks like Craig Genther, another of our regulars on the chain gang, one of the men who's been in from the start. We've got to say a massive thank you to all of our riders doing such a fantastic job. Now we're going to drop across to our red beacon. Whilst our riders go down the straight, or we're going to attempt to anyway. This is sometimes easier said than done on the circuit here. So in with Chaingang we go now. You can see where our red beacon is at the top of the course, as our yellow beacon is down at the descent to the underpass. This is our red beacon group, the party bus as it's known, and Mushet now just needing to push on a little bit here because the group are going to pick up speed pretty quickly. Mushet does have the advantage over some of the lighter riders though on the descent. If you're a bigger rider, it is fast, so let's have a look. Looks like Mushet just getting trying to type on the turbo, but looks like he's just struggling. Wireless keyboard, mate, makes a massive difference, makes it a lot easier, believe me. So here we go. You just see the riders here. This is our red beacon group here with Chaingang working well, keeping the group together here. So just getting a question from Daryl Tatchell Waller. Any plans to allow steering on the gang? The answer to that is no. It is complicated enough trying to get everybody to remember to ride at the pace of the yellow beacon, mate. If we give people another reason to get it wrong, oh, can you imagine the carnage? We'd have half the people in the sane on this circuit. Now, just jumping in, looks like Sonia Inslee just detached from the main group here. Has got Simonite just in front, only 6 seconds to Simonite. Simonite just taking a look back from him. There goes around the corner, comes Inslee just in front, then is going to be Smith. So Smith going to be able to just about make up the guys behind. Now we are going to jump up to the yellow beacon group. This is the yellow beacon group at the moment. Looks like Russ just sitting in at the back of the pack with Tim, Corby and co. And remember, we only get rendered 100 riders at a time, so you'll see riders just disappearing off the front of the pack and reappearing. And that is quite simply because Zwift give you the 100 nearest riders on the course. Now, one of our regulars on the ride is the fat cyclist Gareth Mason, at one time the untouchable Gareth Mason, super fast sprinter. We will see just how he's going, because the young guns have been spoiling his party people like Kieran Smith, who's taken win after win after win on the chain gang. We'll see if he's going to spoil Gareth's attempt to take a win and take top spot. Just going to take a quick look through the teams here. Looks like this is going to be Jim Brown on the gang. Jim will have the big afro on the go in the yellow jersey there, blue stripes on the shorts. Good to see Jim back in on the chain gang with us. And AD Dench, one of the legends from year one of the chain gang, for his immense efforts on the virtual Le Jog Lands into John O'Groats. And AD, of course, an absolute star, raising well over £6,000 for a mental health charity, replicating his ride that he did in real life on the Land's End to John O'Groats, doing it on Zwift instead. And great to see so many of the riders helping him during the course of the 4 days, and the chain gang riders really supporting people up and down the country. Lots of great stories from the first year. And if remember, we've got, of course, plenty of people who helped out. And we had Chris Hasseltine James was looking for a few bits and pieces to try and help somebody who was just having a bit of a bad time and could do with some support. The chain gang put together a whole bike, sent shoes, kit, clothes, as well as basically an entire bike over to the rider. And it's great to see the community that is the chain gang growing time and time again. Don't forget, of course, come Christmas we had our specials going up the Von Top and up the Alpe d'Huez, and of course Crit City specials, and of course we have the Women's Wednesdays have spawned from the women's special that saw April Tacey, winner of the first stage and the fourth stage of the Women's Tour de France, on the Zwift platform. the virtual Tour de France stage, multiple stage winner, joining us and become a regular on Chaingang, a member of the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, the DCG gang, and great to see April in action for real now, out and racing the classics. And it is really heartening to see the professional riders really looking after the riders who are out and racing, out riding on the Chaingang week in, week out now. Looks like a few more regulars in here. Got Katie Coleclough back in with us as well. We're just seeing Ken Kerrigan coming back in the group. Looks like Dobson is with us once again. So just working our way through riders. Fletcher in here. Colin Bell, Beefy from Cycleways, a regular on the Chaingang from the word go. John Garfer in here. Andy Scotland. I've just seen Andy Hawes is in here. I will find him. Yeah, it will happen. Just working our way around. Nick Dorsey, the best dressed man in the Pretty Gritty kit. Pretty Gritty, of course, supporter. One of our very first giveaways of 2021 was with Pretty Gritty, and in fact the Pretty Gritty discount for DCG gang members has gone up to 20% this month in April, so make sure you get signed up for that. And 20% discount on Pretty Gritty kit, one of our key supporters here on the Chaingang. And Nick Dorsey matching the hat and all the kits together, so good to see Nick on the Chaingang on this, the year's anniversary as well. Sean Runnett's on here. Sean, regular poster on Instagram, and always good to see what Sean is going to put on at the start of the ride. And Sean Runnett riding strongly in the group at the moment. Looks like Sean Ferron is in the group, just not too far away, another of our strong riders. And Sean, of course, well aware he needs to be sitting around that yellow beacon, which he's doing. Andy Hawes is in here, and Hawsey, one of the key men when it comes to the group. So here we go. Andy Hawes is in here. What a great rider Andy is. He's the route manager and one-time finish manager of the Tours of Britain, the men's and the women's. And of course, he is a Pinarello ambassador, and you see at the moment, gone back to the red and black Pinarello there. Nice bike, mate. Not got jealousy much. Pair of Oakley's on as well, and great to see Andy in the Chaingang looking super smooth. And one man who, whilst it might not have been good for the tour and Andy's work, has definitely benefited health-wise from being on the Chaingang and riding his bike so much during lockdown. So there are a few plus sides to the COVID. The fact that Andy's avatar now looks skinny is a reflection of the amount of miles he's been doing, and that is for sure. So well done to Andy. We're going to work our way back through the gang and just keep a check on what's happening and where the riders are. And give my eardrums a rest. If you think the cobble's allowed for you on the coverage, you want to try with a big pair of studio cans on. So working our way back through the group, not too many gaps at the moment. The yellow beacon just flying through there. Russ on his way through. Mr. Thorpe there. Just going to drop in with Carl Kopinski. Now, the bear. We mentioned don't poke the bear. Carl Kopinski, artist extraordinaire, a winner of Ben's Swiss jersey that we gave away. He is the man who is responsible for this drawing. And we are going to show you here. This, if we can get our camera to focus on it, is the Yellow Beacon blend. The bear in action itself. And this is just a small token of what Carl's immense talents can do. And got to say a big thank you to Carl for the artwork that's come through. A member of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. And Carl, a really talented man. Go onto Google, get onto his website, and make sure that you have a look at Carl's artwork, a supporter of the Chaingang from the word go. And great to see Carl on the Chaingang once again as we make our way down. We're heading just past the spawning pens and heading out and down. Now we're going to try and work our way around a few more of our regulars on the Chaingang. Easier said than done, as we've said before. So just going to try and jump in with Kooslugs. So Kooslugs, one of our regulars, one of the Stellaton Massive, a man who I'm sure is going to appreciate the Cold Bath Brewing Company's Pilsner. The gang members are benefiting from that. And of course, Kooslu's one of the people who spent 2 days with Adi Dench up on the various miles, heading his way out and round. And fantastic to see him back in. Michael Hutchins in here doing the business, and good to see Kooslu's back in. And the Stellaton gang, great support from the riders from the north side of Sheffield. So riding in with Vin Donahue, Vin, another of our regulars. He's been a beacon before. Vin in that Tour de Zwift jersey at the moment, looking super smooth, and definitely another of our regulars on the Chaingang. Now, we've mentioned this young man a number of times. He's been in the Chaingang a long time. He's the man who I think has probably stolen Gareth Mason's crown as being the most prolific winner on the Chaingang. Kieran Smith, the youngster from Derbyshire, riding in that flat cap on the Zwift concept bike. Rides with the yellow beacon. He knows when to go, and he's got his partner in crime actually not all that far away, because Kieran Brown from Sherwood Pines is another rider who we can guarantee when it goes uphill is going to be playing the game. Good to see Kieran on the road bike. Kieran, of course, knows how to ride Zwift, and actually will put a mountain bike on when he needs a bigger workout. He will ride the mountain bike in with the road bikers, but at the moment Kieran doing the business is on a road bike and clearly looking to take some scalps today on the way through now. As you can see, just into the underpass. We'll follow the riders through this time, just riding in with Kieran Brown as they come down. The gradient drops down, but you can see what's coming. The uphill stretch here goes up to 7-8% in one of the little bits of the kick here, 6-7, and then round you go. Now, it does depend where your avatar is as to what gradient you actually end up kicking on. And as you can see, this group's still holding together pretty good at the minute. And we're going to take a little bit of a run back down. Remember, these laps are unfolding. We've still got a big group of riders here. So Owen Fletcher in here, another of our regulars on the Donny Chaingang and a member of the DCG gang. Mr. Hayward in as well, and Hayward, another of the DCG gang riders in with us. And just going to try and drop towards the back of the group here to see how our riders are progressing. And one rider who definitely needs a feature is Mr. Grant here. He has gone from being minutes down on the red beacon to being one of the strong riders, sitting in with that leading group. And it really does show you that the progression you can make when you ride a regular workout like the DCG. Remember, of course, there is only one Donny Chaingang, and we could like to take all the credit for Mark's improvement. We can't. He's done a lot of hard work, and now sitting in with that group. Now, the rider in trouble at the moment is going to be Don't Bunk, who's gone off the back. D's off the back. He's got to push back in, pushing up 6 watts per kilo to get back on the group. And it shows you the difference. To close that gap down, he went up to 6 watts per kilo to catch riders doing 2.4 on the back of this group. And that is all about being in the slipstream and staying in that slipstream. It's absolutely critical when you make your way out and round the circuit. So it looks pretty smooth out there at the moment. We're going to just take a look at these riders as they come around. Let's see if we can jump in with Russ. Easier said than done. We'll just drop the cobbles down a bit, and let's see if we can get hold of Russ and see if he's got any breath left at the moment. Russ, are you there?
I'm all good, mate.
All good. That's a dangerous thing to say, buddy. We're just keeping an eye on this group. It's certainly looking good at the minute. Your heart rate's quite low. It's only 120 beats a minute. It's looking quite controlled at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just cruising on the pedals, mate, ready to slightly afterburners.
Yeah, it's looking like this group is finally got itself together. That first lap was a little bit fractured, but it has come back together nicely, hasn't it? And we are starting to see one or two riders as the pace has got pushed up go backwards. But the gang at the back, the Red Beacon, doing a great job.
Yeah, they're doing well. We've got in there 6 or 7 riders now, but this front group's tapping away nicely now. We've got 3 laps to go, haven't we?
I think so. I've lost count, mate. I've been relying on you. 24k, less 3, 21. Yeah, got to be 3 laps to go at the line this time.
I'll just tell the guys that, keep them quiet.
Famous last words. You can see plenty of power-ups going in now on this run up the hillside, and you can see plenty of people just starting to feel the pressure here, because this is quite a defensive move, putting in a power-up at this stage.
It just panics everyone, doesn't it? You see there, people are like squeezing the 3.5 spores now, and I'm telling one off at this stage. It's keeping tight, and but, like I said, definitely. I can't even talking riders with like 3% uphill.
Well, I did choose my moment carefully, just to put you in a little bit of trouble, but the heart rate's not going up, so you can't be finding it that hard, mate.
Oh, good, mate. I'm in a bit of form, mate. Riding twice a day for like 3 or 4 days a week. I'll be soon flying at this rate.
It's soon flying. It'll be all that riding up the hillside from mine, that's for sure. Well, we're going to let you get back to it and try and keep them together as you come around the Arc de Triomphe. And have fun, Russ. Enjoy.
I will do, mate, and good job.
So good to catch up with Russ there, and we're going to jump back in with the Chaingang. And as you can see, this group, it is holding together nicely at the moment. The green arch is the finish when we get back around to it. And remember, it's a green banner finish this time. We always pick a fixed point on the Chaingang for the finish. Those people who sprint for a blue banner, read the programme, guys. Get yourselves a member of the DCG gang. All the DCG gang members get a full description of the route. They get links to Velo Viewer, to Zwift Insider, to the Zwift Hacks map. They get some rundown of what the course is like, how we're expecting it to ride. You get loads of discounts from all of our great partners. I've got to say a massive thank you to all of them. Pretty Gritty, of course, to Grand Tour Coffee, Velo Viewer, to 1080, Velaskin, OTE and Halo. We've had great giveaways from all of them on the way through, as well as great discount codes. And remember, this is all about keeping the ride together, to give people something to look forward to. We certainly hope we've achieved that. And to say that we thought we would have 20 or 30 riders a year ago and we'd spend a couple of hours a week, that definitely hasn't happened, as Russ would. And I can tell you, if you fancy shadowing us for a week, you better pack the coffee and be fueled with OTE, because it's a busy old week on the Chaingang, and definitely keeps us going all week long, and making sure that everybody's riding strongly, and that can be anything from answering the phone on tech questions right the way through to liaising with people who are going to look after our riders in the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. And Ross also has to keep fit, never mind doing none of the graphics like I do. Mine's all sat down sorting out the broadcast and sorting out the giveaways, but Russ, of course, has to still be able to ride with the group. And it gets tougher, I'm sure, as it gets on. But Russ, as he said, just starting to discover form now as we go over the top. Just seeing Sheldon Hall, another of our regulars on the Chaingang here, just coming off the back of the group. He's at 4.1 watts per kilo. And I suspect Sheldon just going to try and pace a few of the riders back. So Chris from Alliance MTB coaching. Chris, no, I'm not riding on Saturday, mate. You have Emma, our yellow beacon, all to yourself to do some skills coaching with at Pines on the weekend. So they're going to be out and playing on the mountain bikes on Saturday. Unfortunately, not able to join in. We've got a broadcast, full speed event's going to be doing a broadcast on Sunday, and got a lot of work on Sunday to do. So we're going to be covering the Women's Team Cup. We stepped in, Emma and myself, to give some support to the Women's Team Cup when they needed it. So we will be bringing that on Sunday on the Full Speed Events YouTube channel, and that's going to be the British Women's Team Cup. The first 4 rounds going on Zwift. Now, Sheldon Hall here stuck in no man's land, and looks like Scarlett, Bass, Inman, Cootie, Davis, Finch, Hayward. Looks like Stone just being distanced off the back of this group here. And this is a big group to be distanced, but the pace has gone up on the front enough to start to fracture this group behind. So this group is currently behind. You can see behind that yellow beacon, it is blown to pieces, and that is just the pressure that's being put on as the pace picks up. This is the group immediately behind the yellow beacon group, and again some big names in here. Looks like Porter James is in here. So just riding in with Porter Jays at the moment. Another of our regular riders on the Donny Chaingang. So Porter Jays at the moment sitting on the wheels of SR60. Yeah, looks like Scotland in there. Will Colley in there as well. Gibbons in there and Goff in there. So these riders are riding well as they make their way around the turn here. And this is the group that are chasing our yellow beacon group in front. Just going to take a little bit of a look up the road because the back of the yellow beacon group at the moment is here. So just taking an eye in the sky on these guys at the moment. This is the yellow beacon group at the moment as we make our way down towards the underpass once again. We're just in with Taylor of Bolsover and District, and a big thank you to my own club, which is Bolsover and District. They have sent rider after rider and rider on the Chaingang, and great to see so many of the green and black on the Chaingang. And definitely good to see so many local riders to Doncaster and the South Yorkshire and Derbyshire areas jumping on the Chaingang, as well as people from further afield. And although we haven't seen Vic for a while, I think Vic our furthest afield rider. So Victoria Chavaria from Puerto Rico being the rider who was on the Chaingang all through the winter period, and definitely got to be the furthest group. So it looks like Craig Herring is planning on doing a bit of a run back for the riders behind. I think that's a brave move at this stage, Craig. He's diving down onto the underpass, and Craig dropping back there a long way back, buddy, for the next group. That is for sure. Let's try and give Craig a time check. It is going to be 13 seconds, mate. That's not a doable bring back. You're not going to bring him back for 12 seconds, buddy. That is not happening. That's for sure. So Craig is going to have to pull it out. He's going to have to get back onto the main group here because he's not going to be able to pace back a group that is 12 seconds back at that, unless he wants to go and commit Harry Carey, because that is a big ask to get back with this group and to bring them back in. They can see the yellow beacon now. The single rider in front, that sole rider, that is going to be Craig Herring, and it looks to me like Kieran Brown's had a bit of an issue. He might have had to stop, and it looks like Kieran Brown could be bringing a few of these riders across. So it looks like Kieran is going to be charging up towards Craig Herring. Craig could get some assistance here. Let's see who can go with him. Scarlett trying to jump on. So Herring is off the back. He's going to be not caught in the net of this big group here if we're not careful here. So he's going to have to swim like a swordfish to get himself up to the front. We want some speed records, mate. If you're going to get on this group, just taking a little look. It is a compact group now as we turn on towards the Champs-Élysées proper. As we come off the square and line ourselves up for that gantry, you can see in the distance the Arc de Triomphe in the top of the hillside here. And this group pretty much all together at the moment. And one or two riders just rolling around the back. We're just with Kirkham at the moment. Let's jump in. Looks like O'Brien is in here. So here we go. Looks like the riders are all in here. So these riders are rolling smoothly together with our yellow beacon here. This is the yellow beacon group as we come to the orange banner here. So here we go underneath the orange banner now. Time ticking away. 30k on the clock. 10k left to go. So over the run we go. Over that slight climb onto the level, a slight roll down here, and the group is stretched out here. Kirkham on the back, Chris Hastine, James towards the back. Good to see Chris on the Chaingang, another keen supporter of the Donny Chaingang, and great to see him in action. And the go has gone. So the go has gone. Russ has hit the button. He's knocked the plunger down, and as you can see, people getting distanced off the back, and it looks to me like Herring and Long with Brown just off the back of this group, and looks like Lloyd has gone for a long one here. That's a brave move. You're going for the full 2 laps, mate. I'd love to see you try. Go on, buddy. So here he goes. He's putting in a big kick. He's going to get a good time up to the sprint banner. But you can see behind, he's not going to stay clear of the pack behind. This is going to be a real drag strip. They're coming up on our red beacon group, who are actually just on the run in towards that green banner at the moment. They're about 36 seconds up in front. But look at this, Kieran Smith. He's gone on to the back wheel of Lloyd here. Very, very fast indeed. And Brown, Jim Brown is... not too far off. Dean Evans is in the group. Tacey, Whitelaw, Stone, all the irregulars sat in that chasing pack at the moment. But it's Tacey who's bringing them across. So here we go. Just going to try and jump in with Tacey Harrison. Tacey, one of the aggressive riders. He'd win the Combativity Award, probably jointly with Coleman for their aggressive attacking in the ride. Doing a great job of making for a fast-paced ride once that go has gone. And if you look at the front of this group, they're just starting to close in on the... red beacon. We've just hitting the 31.8k mark. There's 2 more laps to go at this stage. It is going to be a fast 2 laps now. This is where the red beacon's got to be careful, because our leading group coming through, and you just see going alongside Miss Cookie there, a leading rider in that red beacon group, and it's very easy to get sucked along with the riders. So Tacey is leading them out, and look at the damage that's being done behind Tacey here. So we're just up in the sky with our helicopter at the moment, and as you can see, the yellow beacon group with Tacey leading them out have smashed it to pieces behind. Somebody pulled the pin through the grenade in the middle of them, and when Russ launched that grenade in, it has absolutely exploded here. Now, good to see Dan Cogan is back with us, and Cogan is another very fast rider. So let's keep an eye on Cogan here, because Cogan is one of those riders we know could really rip this up in the blue, the Sigma Sport rider. Dropping down the hillside here, Daryl in this group. Daryl, of course, one of the key riders in the Chaingang, taking the prize from Halo. Paul Whitelaw just drifting off to one side. Come on, Paul, get that ice cream in gear. I bet you wish you were on the Champs-Élysées selling it today, mate. As the riders drop down, and you can see everybody wants to go on the front now. It's Adi Dench rolling up onto the front. James Brown not too far off the pace. Dowdry coming through. Goddard, who's going to take it this time round? Who is going to be sipping on the champagne tonight? Well, as they come down here, it looks like Ian Bibby in the group. Russ down and coming up to the front of the pack here. This is our leading group, and behind they are in pieces. They're not going to get back to this group. You see Group 2 chasing hard behind at the moment, but that group is being distanced here. Try and get you some time checks back to the chasers. So at the moment, that chasing group of riders are at 12 seconds. OZK, Richardson, Crosscast, Neil, Gaff Coleshaw, Keith Richardson, Coolslugs, Neil Morn, Chris Sadler in that group. That's the chasing pack in group number 2. They've got to try and get themselves back, but that is a long way to go. We're going to jump in with Richardson. And Richardson, another big supporter of the Chaingang. Here we are in with Richardson. This is group number 2. Crosscast Neil from Pretty Gritty, sitting on the front of this group. Phil OZK in here. Good to meet Phil this week as well. Phil bobbing around to pick up a turbo trainer. It's like Coleshaw in here. Cooslugs is in here. Morning here from the Stellarton. And these are riders with Sadler working to try and pull back that leading group. They're at 9 seconds to the leading group of riders. 9 seconds to the front group. And that is going to take some doing. This is the next group down the road. And you can see at the moment, they are just off the back of those chasers. And Kieran Brown 5 seconds off the back of the chasing group. Same with Hulk Hogan here. Then 7 seconds back is going to be the group led by Taylor with Colclough, Kopinski, Crapper, Crease in here. So it looks like Katie Colclough back with us again. Good to see you back in the group. Carl Kopinski in here. Andy Hawes in this group as well. Just going to jump in with Colclough at the moment, so good to see Katie in here. Remember, of course, Charlotte Colclough, a winner of an Oakley bundle on Women's Wednesdays yesterday. Now our leaders around the corner, and as you can see from the map up in front, we have the yellow beacon group. Then with 12 seconds back to group 2, we then have group 3 who are sitting at 6 seconds. and that is Hogan. It's the duo of Hogan and Co. and the Assured Pies Rider. Then we have this group, which is the Katie Coldclough group. Carl Kapinski, Leach in here, Taylor, Horsey's in this group. This is a fast group, but at the moment they are being distanced by our leaders, who are continuing to stretch these gaps out, and you can see now the leaders up here riding in with Ian Bibby, the man in the light blue and white camo jersey there. They're all sat together as we come down into the underpass. The wonders of the drone cam means we can fly right down into the tarmac without crashing, without bouncing it about too much. And it looks to me like the fat cyclist Gareth Mason on here now. The power-ups are going in here. People are kicking down hard. Coleman on the back's got to be careful here. He doesn't want to get distance. You can see him pushing his way up into the group. As Russ Downing now on the front used the power-up on the way up and slingshots his way out. And that's a great tactic if you can use it on that section of the course. So at the moment it is Russ Downing on the very front, and they've left him to dry out there at the moment. He's having a solo ride out on the front, and well done Russ, you just completed your weekly distance goal. So it looks like Russ completed his distance goal as he's out the front of the group now. Russ's heart rate currently 153. When we were talking to him, it was 121. But it looks like Kogan's just pulled him back here. Whitelaw on the wheels here. And Kogan and Whitelaw go straight past Downing at the moment, like he stood still. Looks like Russ might have been having too many Easter eggs at the minute, as Tacey now goes up onto the front. Everybody wants this. Nobody wants to let these gaps go. And Tacey is who has pushed on here, being chased here by Thorpe. Thorpe working well in the background here. Thorpe has been a regular on the front of the Chaingang, but he's not quite had this. And as the riders take the right hand, and you just see Thorpe coming alongside in the green and blue on that green concept bike, but over the top comes Whitelaw. Looks like Kieran Smith in here, Jim Brown in here from Baxter Racing in the group, Dowtree in here, Locks in the group as well. And everybody is aware they can't let the gaps go as they come up this climb. Just going to take a little bit of a scroll out, see who's sitting on the back of the pack here. And at the moment it looks like Russ just drifting a little off the back here. He can't afford to let that gap go here. So underneath the lap arch we go. Looks like Aaron Stone in this group. Owen Fletcher is in here as well. It really is an elite group on the front here. Kieran Smith in the pack now. Is somebody going to try and break this up? Remember, we'll have one lap to go when we hit the green banner this time. But this is our leading group, and the gang are getting stretched out each time the pace that gets put on here. The riders are starting to stretch out. Whitelaw at the moment leading them up the climb here, just riding in with Tacey, who's in the middle of that pack. And Tacey sitting around 300 watts at the moment, just sitting just below 300 watts. Now Gareth Mason comes to the front. It's Mason, then Dowtree. It's Bibby working his way around the group as well. Absolutely everybody in this group, but you can see the pressure is on. Glyn is at the back here. He doesn't want to let these gaps go. And Glyn out the saddle to push himself back in. The green banner is up ahead, and we're on this slight respite they're going to get as they come up and through. So they go over, they can just see it dips a little before climbing again. Now Lloyd is on the back, the man who put in that massive attack when the go went. He's dropped to the back. He's pushing up once again. So just in with Harrison Tacey on the far side of this group. Gareth Mason in the red and black, Paul Whitelaw in the orange, Eddie Dench in the red, Jim Brown in the bright yellow with the big dark black fro and grey beard. Looks like everybody getting the pressure on. Stables is in here. Stables looking smooth on his way through here as he comes up the top here. Evans is in this group, just flicking away around the group here. And as you can see, riders really are starting to feel the pressure at the back. You cannot afford to let the gaps go. And Lloyd's just about hanging on here, but it looks like behind Lloyd, the gaps are opening, and Leon has got himself back in here. These riders continue up towards the top of the hill, so they're just going to go around the side of Sonia Inslee at the moment. So Inslee just seeing that leading group coming steaming past, and Eddie Dench on the way past at the moment. And everybody wants to be in here. And Matthews at the moment just near the back, can't afford to let those gaps go. Now this is where the gaps get stretched. You cannot be on the back as you come over here behind Coleman. You can just see those gaps are opening, and Lloyd is aware of the danger. He comes across, but looks like one or two people just feeling the pace. Jimmy Allen on the back of this pack now as Russ goes on the offensive again as to go over the top. Russ was teeing that up. We saw him roll up to the front. He's got a gap at the moment, so is Russ going for this? Is he going to see if he can finish it off with a win? Are they going to let the old fella do this? Let's see how he goes. So on the descent, he's got a couple of seconds on them now. Thorpe leading the chase. Who's going to be the one to chase him down? Who's going to be the one who's going to spoil Russ's party today? Let's see who's going to bring it back. Well, getting some support from the crowds because Craig Harris saying, come on, Bear. Russ looks like he's backed the pressure off. He's not broken that group behind too much. You can see Matthews on the back of the group there, and Russ saying he's all in. I don't think so. We never believe him when he says that. But that heart rate, 162, I think that's Russ is going to be feeling it at that heart rate. You see it's just starting to come back down again, but he's going to have to jump back into the group. 162 is pop time for Russ, that is for sure. And through they come, and now he's got to get on the back of the wheels here. And you can just see Stables and Fox are at the back of this group, and Russ quickly getting into those wheels, trying to get some shelter from the pack as they make the descent here. Now, who's going to be the next rider? Remember, less than one lap to go. Time running out if these guys want to break it up at the moment. So Fletcher moving up to the front with Kogan at the moment. It's going to be Iron Fletcher who's going to be leading this out at the moment, then Kogan, then over the top comes Whitelaw once again, and this is about doing as little as possible. You don't want to be doing too much work on the front. If you want to see how to ride this smart, one rider that you rarely see on the front is Kieran Smith until it matters. Kieran will go on the front when he's coming into the Smith. He knows when he's coming into the finish. Smith knows exactly how to ride this now. Coleman on the front. Tacey moves up over the top now. And it looks like Tacey just leading this out in the pink and grey here. Daryl Tatshaw Waller, our winner in the competition, the Halo Wheels competition, sitting in with this group. Dench already starting to push, but Kieran Smith and doesn't want this to get too slow here. Aaron Stone is in here, and there are some handy sprinters in this group, that is for sure. Not least of which will be Jim Brown, because we know Brown has got a big old kick on him. So Brown from backstairs moves off the front in the yellow. Tacey moves up with Whitelaw once again onto the front as they try and keep this group moving. Now the pace just dropping off. We're only down at 43k an hour. I say only, and that is quite simply because we know that they're capable of much, much more. So AD Dench in here, clearly those miles on Land's End to Johnny Groats, so not doing him too much damage on the way through here. So it's Dench on here, Stables, Matthews, everybody taking turns on the way through. The pace back up to 44 kph at the moment. We're going to be heading across now. In terms of attacking points, the drop down, when you take that left hand turn as you go drop down in, if you've got a draft, you engage it on the downhill so that you get a slingshot out. If you've got a feather, you engage it at the bottom of the hill so you've spit over the top at pace. If you have got a racing draft, you might find yourself with something even more spicy like a burrito to stop people's draft or similar, but that's not going to happen on the DCG. We do limit the number of power-ups people can have so that the group ride can stay together, and at the moment this group is looking pretty smooth. So I think Chloe Gagan, yeah, you're on your last lap, Chloe. So our red beacon onto the last lap, and looks like on our way around, because remember the distance will be just sub 45. It's 44.1 so long as it all pans out and the distances work. And on to the descent, you can just see at the moment it is AD Dench leading this out, but here they come. Daryl Tatshaw Waller pushing on hard here. Who's going to put in the attack? Feather Flag's going in now. And this is where people want to be right on the front. Now, Gareth Mason is in this group as well, but Dench goes from the very front to the very back here as they come. Remember, we are sprinting for the green banner. That is the finish of the ride. The riders will then warm down, and looks like that effort from Dench has cost him dear. He's off the back of the group. Bibby is in here. Kogan's in here. Russ rolling in this group as well. Kieran Smith is in here. Would you want to bet against Smith on the uphill? At the moment, they're chasing Locke from Manchester Wheelers, and the Manchester Wheeler just up the road. Tacey and Whitelaw again. I tell you something, they put in some graft, these two, because they've chased down with Thorpe again, and probably in terms of chasing, Thorpe, Whitelaw and Tacey are doing a lot of the work here as Thorpe goes on to the front now. He's just put on the aero boost on the front there. He's up at 8.1 watts per kilo. Is he trying to break clear of these riders? He's got a little bit of a gap. Tacey's chasing, but that gap, it's currently at 1 second, so Thorpe has got the work being done all by Thorpe at the moment. He's got the gap. Tacey's going to have to put out the same effort or get caught by the group. Remember, we are finishing at the green banner. Let's hope Thorpe's got this right, because that was a cracking attack if he was going for the orange. But we're going to finish at the green at the top of the hill. At the moment, Thorpe has got the gap here on Tacey. Tacey chasing hard behind. So Tacey working hard. Whitelaw's pushing up towards the front here. He's up at 9.6, 10.3. Now, this is where we're going to see who is going to misjudge this, because remember, we are finishing at the green banner. Who had their message boards rolling? So it looks like Whitelaw is kicking hard here. Let's see if he eases off once he gets through the line, because I think he's gone for a long one here. He's continuing this onwards, so Whitelaw knows where he wants to be, and Whitelaw has gone early here. Is he going to take this out? So he's went on the front. He's now at 8.7, and the chase is going to have to come behind because he's got the gap. He has got a gap here. So Whitelaw has 3 seconds on Tacey, who has 4 seconds on Thorpe. West putting in a 6.7 there, but Whitelaw's gone up again. He's kicking again. He knows how to ride a hill. He lives in Ambleside in the Lake District. This man is working hard at the moment, and he's got a gap. You can see the green banner. It's right at the top, just before the Arc de Triomphe. That distance is ticking down at the moment. He's going to try and get underneath that banner now as they kick up the top of the hill behind. Gareth Mason starting to wind this up behind, so Mason is coming hard. He's gone round Tacey, but look at Kieran Smith coming now. So Kieran Smith, he's got to chase down Whitelaw. Whitelaw's kicking at 8.1 in the orange, so it's the orange of Whitelaw. It's Kieran Smith in the red. He's working hard to get himself up to the rider in front. Smith has got the catching him, I think, but will he be able to stay past him? Because Whitelaw at the moment has still got something in the tank. I think we'll see if he's gone too early. Whitelaw's pushing here. Kieran Smith is on him. Now can the response come from Whitelaw? The Smith has got the front of this. We said he was the rider to beat. It could well be. He's going to get this. You can see the gantry is going to come. Is he going to get through? I think the distances are on there, so the push is on, and it is going to be Kieran Smith who is going to take this. It's going to be very, very tight. So Kieran is going to push all the way to the line. It is Kieran Smith in 1. It's Whitelaw in 2. Bibby in 3. It's going to be Stone in 4. Kogan in 5. Russ Downing takes 6th place. Downtree in 7. Stables in 8. West is going to be in 9th place. It's going to be Locke in 10th. It's going to be... Oh, it's Tacey just about in 11th, with Evans in 12th. It's going to be Matthews as 13th, Fletcher in 14th, Darryl Tutchell Waller, I think, coming through in 15th place. And still got riders coming in, so it's going to be Gareth Mason, our next rider to finish. Then it's going to be Thorpe, who put in that big attack. Behind him is going to come Jimmy Allen and Fox as they come towards the line. But it was Kieran Smith who took a victory today, a year after the guys came in to finish the very first Chaingang. It was Kieran Smith who took that as he came in and through the line. Now, Adi Dench on his way up the climb here, and it is going to be Dench, the next rider coming through the finish line here. So Dench goes through. Next up is going to be Kieran Brown. Brown, who was off the back at the go, making his way up to a Wars line behind him. It's going to be Goddard and Glynn. And then it's going to be that big bunch. I think it's Neil leading out the second big bunch on the road as we came round with a lap to go. Of course, it is fractured since then. So it is Kieran Brown coming through. Good to see Kieran back on here. Well done, Kieran. And we're going to drop back to Goddard. He's going to be our next rider coming towards the line. Glynn is just behind. So just a quick grand tour cover for me. The Yellow Beacon blend available from Rust Direct. Don't forget to make sure you get yourself some of that. Get in touch with Rust. Don't forget, of course, discounts for members of the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, the DCG gang. Next up is going to be Corden and OZK coming through, two of our regulars. And now we're going to see if Neil's going to take it out. He has. Well done, Neil. Neil's come through and just cruises over the line and looks brave. He's set up Taylor and Corby coming through, Coolshaw, Greenway, Crapper going through, Hulk Hogan going through, and Katie Colclough is going to be the first of our female riders on the way through there, so well done, Katie. Katie takes the first female. Tim Cooper on his way to the line. Tim, absolutely massive thank you to Tim. He has worked for days and days and weeks to bring you all of the chain gang, and Tim, our tech wizard, down in the PC and broadcast department, and working very closely with Russ and myself to make sure everything comes up. So thank you very much, mate. Now going to take a little bit of a hunt back here. So Kipling's through, Clark is through. Looks like Craig Herring coming through the line there. Mr. Rumble, Vin Donahue coming through. Cooper on his way up, and Woodbridge. These are going to be our next two rows, I think, on the way up to the line. I can't see any riders in front of them, so this is going to be our next group in. So Matt Crease, yeah, you were in the second group. It did fracture though, mate, in the group in front, so it looked like there was a long string of riders. Now James Woodbridge, another of our regulars on here, the Velobounce rider, in with Cooper here coming up towards the line, and great to see James in the gang here. James, of course, one of our regulars on the Donny Chain gang, and great to see him back in action once again. And looking forward to seeing him throughout the summer. Behind this duo coming up to the line is going to be Simon out from High CC. Then it is going to be, I think, Sonia Inslee. Now these two are going to have another lap to go, which means our next finisher is going to be a Rich Orrell. We'll go back to Sonia and Simon 8 before they come through to finish. So a Rich Orrell on his way up the climb at the moment. He's going to come through to finish here. So well done to Rich. So Rich goes in and through the line behind him. It's going to be Chris Hasseltine, James. Chris, mate, that beard gets bigger. It'll slow you down, buddy, I promise you. So Chris just holding off Rory King behind. Sanderson, Scarlett as well. Dick Samuel coming in. Well done, Dick. Good riding, and your avatar swear gets thinner and thinner each ride. The Donny Chain gang taking its effect. Next up is going to be Richards. So it is going to be Mr. Richards on his way to the line. Well done, buddy. And another ride on the DCG done. Now just going to drop back to our next two riders. This is to Mr. Thorne. Thank you very much, sir. One of the Donny Chain gang members and a Bolsover District gang member, and it's his fault that I'm back racing on the turbo and on Swift again. So mate, I blame you for me sprinting my way around crits on Saturdays. Now Sean Ferran coming in through the line, and Mr. Gibbons coming in, Dubash in, Collie in, Dorsey through the line, Goff and Holmes, and then it is going to be Becky Porter-J. So I think Porter-J is going to be the second of our female riders in through the sprint. The first rider coming in is, of course, going to be Casey Colclough. Then it's going to be Becky Porter-J, the second of our female riders. Now just dropping in with the gang here, heading up towards the line. I think we've got maybe one or two riders in front. I think it could well be Mr. Hutchinson up the road, and I think Mr. O'Brien on his way in towards the line. So O'Brien comes through to finish ahead of Hutchinson. So young Zach Hutchinson on his way in. This young man improving all the time on the Donny Chain gang, and we really love seeing these youngsters out and riding. Great way to showcase what they can do, and well done, Zach. Great to have you on the Chain gang, mate. And just think, when you get to the top of this, go do what Mr. Whitelaw does, the man who was leaning out trying to take the win from Kieran. It is about getting an ice cream down. It's really good. I promise you that's where I'm heading when we get to the end of the broadcast. So Hutchinson on his run in to the finish. It's going to be Zach, our next finisher. He's going to be ahead of Owen Davis behind her. And it's going to be Davis and Alistair Cootie group with Hayward as well. So well done, mate. Now jumping back in to Alistair Cootie, the Chevrolet rider at the moment, just ahead of Davis and Sheldon Hall. So it's going to be Cootie, the next finisher here on the Champs-Elysees. Now 1 year in to the Donny Chaingang. So well done, mate. Next up, it's going to be Davis, so it is going to be Owen Davis. Oh, it's not. It's going to be Sheldon Hall. Sheldon Hall's got it. Those BMX legs working to good effect there. So Sheldon Hall comes through. Sheldon, of course, regular on the Facebook pages, as is Owen Davis. Good stuff, mate. Well done for finishing just ahead, I think, of Mr. Hayward here. So Hayward, again, another member of the DCG gang, and great riding there as he comes through the finish. Next up is going to be Inman. So Inman ahead of Dixon Smith. I think Phillips Grant at the moment. We're just keeping an eye on the distances of these riders. And I think Inman's going to be our next rider in to Wars Line. Let's see if we can get across to Russ, who I'm hoping is has opened a beer. Russ, how are you doing?
I'm fine, mate.
Have you got a beer open yet?
I can't move, mate.
That was brutal.
I'm just having to turn my legs over. What were we saying about my heart rate being good at 120 something? I think, I don't know, I saw 164 or something, which is pretty high for me nowadays.
Yep, definitely. I saw you definitely with a 162. I didn't see a 164. Let's see how these riders go on. You just see Smith at the moment just running for the line in front of Dixon. Real good sprint here by these riders. That's what I love about the Chaingang. No matter where our riders are, there's always a sprint coming, and Mr. Grant on his way in, and got to be one of the most improved riders in the Chaingang.
Yeah, what's he there? What's he finishing there? Just 5 minutes down or something?
About that, he's absolutely sprinting into the line in some really good company here.
He was 10, 12 minutes down from the start when he first came on. So, chapeau, and that's just what we've done. It's brilliant.
It is great to see these riders improving time and time again. We do have our riders with quite a distance to go. I think there's some of our riders have got at least a lap or so to go, and that is one of the things here on the Champs-Elysee. It really does stretch these riders out.
Yeah, I've got an orange jumper now, which is not a bad way to end the ride. Fastest lap on the Champs-Elysee. I'll take that.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. We just seen our Red Beacon. Our Red Beacon's going to have 1 lap to go left, I think. So Gagan just on the way up towards the line. She's going to get 1 more lap to go, which means our next finisher is going to be Ken Kerrigan, another Chef Rate rider. And Chef Rate have been regular supporters of the gang, haven't they?
Yeah, Jimmy Allen just messaged me. He's not been on. I don't know. He's been on for a couple of weeks. Kids off and things like that. He's been busy, and he came on tonight. And he's just said he's absolutely cooked. And I said, yeah, I think I went too deep, mate. I got a bit carried away,
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Using the power ups at the right time, and then it's like, oh, I've got a gap here. Let's squeeze.
Yeah, and why not? Although another great sprint, and good to see a real mix of riders up there fighting for the finish. That big attack by Whitelaw, I thought he got that when he went early. I didn't know whether he misjudged it and gone for the orange banner, but he managed to hold on almost to the green. But Kieran Smith, he has, I think he's now taken over the top spot from Gareth Mason, who's winning probably the most of the rides from the Go Go Go.
Is he the king of the DCG, is he like now?
He might well be at this stage. It has to be said. He's putting some. Certainly becoming the rider to beat. That's for sure.
I'll have to get him a gold sticker or a gold badge or something.
Well, he could always have one of the new DCG badges, the stickers that we've got heading out to people. I've had a sneak preview of them today. Russ brought for you. I'm not going to show you them on the screen at the moment, but they are going to be guerrillaed out there. Don't you worry. They're going to make sure it goes out on in the right places. And don't forget, of course, you get one if you get hold of some of the goodies that are on offer. And don't forget, of course, you can always get in touch with Russ when he's got his breath back to get hold of the coffee. Stocks of yellow Beacon blend and of the double day. So yellow Beacon blend is the one with the Karl Kapinski artwork. There we go. Get it in focus. And of course, there is the double day blend from Donny saying the coaching works. And both those available from Russ. So don't forget to get in there. And of course, discounts for members of the DCG gang. So Russ, we are going to let you do some recovery, mate, and bring in our riders in to the finish. Grab a beer, No doubt a cold bath brewing beer, I'm sure, mate. And we will catch up with you next week.
I think I need a beer in. I need a cold bath beer in a cold bath. I'm not.
I'm sure, bud. I'm sure. Well, cheers, Russ. Thank you very much. And, of course, thank you to everybody who's not poked him too much tonight. So great to hear from Russ, who has now headed off. Let's hope he has managed to get himself a cold bath with a cold beer as well. As we see Pattison now heading in to the line, really pushing in, just that final kick up the hill here. And the 150 metre mark is where the green line is as he goes over now. So 150 metres for the final sprint in towards the line. Out of the saddle goes Pattison, and he's going to be our next finisher. He's 11 seconds up on Bolt with that final acceleration. In fact, Martin Bolt now down in the distance, so it's going to be Pattison who's going to be our next rider coming through the finish. Fantastic ride, mate. And you see quickly off the pedals. Now it's going to be one of the men who talked about Kieran Smith being the person with the most wins since the Go Go Go. Well, Martin Bolt has definitely been the red beacon the most. He was our perpetual red beacon at one stage until he got too quick, and we now have a rotor. And don't forget, you can always volunteer for that. Get in touch with Gail as Martin goes underneath the beacon there. Well done, Martin. Thank you very much for all your support on the Donny Chaingang. We're going to drop back to our next finisher, and this is going to be Priester, who's on the way up the climb at the moment. And don't forget, of course, all of our riders who ride on the Chaingang. We really do value all of our riders. And we've got to say a massive thank you. If you've been riding, if you have been playing the game, sitting with the yellow beacon to the Go Go Go, those ramped workouts we see time and time again. We love seeing the pictures on Facebook, on Instagram, of the state of people before and after the pain caves that you've got going, whether it's your crammed out, jammed out garage where everything's hanging off the walls and on the floor and you just about squeeze in there, or whether it is a case that you've got the swankiest, poshest, tidiest, most OCD pain cave. It's always good for us to see. And of course we want to see the pictures of those FTP increases as well as the riders come through. Getting that FTP increase is one of the real marks of having been on the Donny Chaingang, and we see it time and time again, and we really love seeing those pictures. So keep on putting it on social media. Don't forget you can follow Fonzie Bear, that is Russ Downing. You can follow the Donny Chaingang, and you can follow myself, that is Matt Fixer Pain. Matt Fixer Pain on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Don't forget, of course, if you haven't watched enough cycling on Zwift this week with two Donny Chaingangs, a Women's Wednesday on Donny Chaingang, I'm going to be bringing all of the action with Emma, our Women's Yellow Beacon. It's going to be my co-commentator for the British Team Cup, and we're going to be bringing that out on the Full Speed Events YouTube channel. That is going to be coming out live on Sunday, where the best UK teams are going to be battling it out around the Surrey Hills. And don't forget, we have loads more action on the Chaingang to come. Twice a week, every Tuesday and every Thursday, we're bringing you all of the action on the way around the roads of Zwift, whether that is out on the climbs, whether that is going to be around Paris, whether it is on the flat courses around TikTok on Watopia, whether it's in New York. We've got a whole host of courses dreamt up, and we always look forward to bringing you lots more action on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. So just keeping an eye on Sonia Inslee, the Bolsover rider, is going to be our next rider in to the finish. Now on that long draggy climb up the Champs-Elysee, this faithful replication, all part of the Zwift game. I mean, I've got to say a massive thank you to Steve and Henry and Eric and all of the team at Zwift, because without Zwift we just couldn't be bringing you the ride. It started off with a conversation between Russ and myself a long time ago now, and we thought we'd be able to put the ride onto Zwift. It'd be a great thing to do. We ramped up the preparations as we went into lockdown one. It's a year now since we've been bringing you the Donny Chaingang. Myself, Matt Payne of Full Speed Events, and Russ Downing of Downing Cycling, partnering up together to bring you two rides a week on a Tuesday and a Thursday. We have the addition of Women's Wednesdays from the Christmas New Year period as well, with our Yellow Beacon Emma. joining us on the rise and leading those women's rise, and they've been a great success as well. We've had regulars, we've had hundreds and hundreds of riders. In fact, we've had tens of thousands of riders. We have had hundreds of thousands of hours of watching. We've had hundreds of thousands of likes. We've got 2,500 people on the Facebook pages, and of course we have our core supporters, the members of the DCG gang, where we reward people who have looked after us and have been supporting the Donny Chaingang and making it happen. And basically we are looking to reward our riders on the way through. Now, Sonia Inslee was the very first member of the DCG gang. Our very first member was Sonia Inslee, and Sonia coming through the line. Remember, if you join the DCG gang, you will get loads of rewards. So we give you discount codes, and that can be for OTE, it can be for Grand Tour coffee, for pretty gritty clothing. We will be bringing loads more. We've got Veloskin and making sure you're sitting comfortably, and even with some soothing leg balm to make your legs hurt not quite as much at the end of a Donny Chaingang. Don't forget, of course, 1080 in all the gang at 1080. They're here next week with more sunglasses going out, more Oakleys going out to our riders, and more Oakley goodies. Really looking forward to bringing you that. Halo wheels, giving away £300 to Daryl Tutshall Waller, £50 to Gareth Licence last week. We've got giveaways all the way through the year, and discount codes right the way through, everything from coffee through to beer. It basically, if you spend money on cycling, on anything, whether it's drinks, food, fuel, wheels, kit, clothing, then we've got a discount code that's going to help you out, and it's our way of saying thank you for looking after the Donny Chaingang, for helping us become a force to be reckoned with on Zwift, and our riders to improve time and time again. And it's thank you very much to the members of the DCG gang who really have allowed us to keep the show on the road. We formalised that donation process, and got to say a massive thank you to you for helping us out. Now, we have got a few more riders to bring in. I want to say a massive thank you before we do to Russ. And Russ, of course, one of the reasons why this keeps going. Whenever either of us starts flagging, and we do, and then the other one's always full of enthusiasm, of daft ideas to pick another route out there. So thank you very much, Russ. It's been a pleasure this last year. Looking forward to keeping on going in the future. Let's get back to the ride. And let's see where our next riders are. I think our first rider in towards finish is going to be Richard Mushett, who is going to be on the climb here. So Richard, heart rate 147 beats a minute, 230 watts. He gets out of the saddle. 17 seconds back, looks like Miss Cookie, Sarah Grimshaw and Dave Ambrose, both members of the DCG gang, both keen supporters of the gang, are both together there. Then it's going to be Gagan and Tickers himself on the way up. And in fact, I think after Mr. Musher, it's going to be 4 of our members of the DCG gang who are on the way in towards the line. So Miss Cookie here, this is Sarah, another keen supporter of the DCG gang, a winner on Veloskin week of goodies. Dave Ambrose in here, and Dave, I think, another winner on one of our giveaways as well. Chloe Gagan is here, and Chloe, of course, a regular on the Chaingang, leading the doing the Red Beacon duties, and Chloe, an absolute superb rider, right up there on Women's Wednesdays yesterday, and putting a little bit back in by being our beacon today. And a massive thank you to all of our riders who've been Red Beacons. One of our newest members is Mark Tickle here. This is Tickers on the wheel of Gagan, another rider who's improving week on week, and great to see all these riders in action and all on their final run in towards that green banner here on the Donny Chaingang with me and Matt Payne. So don't forget, make sure you get signed up to the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club to get that discount on the Cold Bath Brewing Company, and of course discounts on loads more of our packages. That package from the Coldbath Brewing Company, a great way to celebrate being on the Chaingang as Richard Mushet comes up and sets a new PR on the sprint in the run into the finish. Next up is going to be Grimshaw. It is Miss Cookie herself on the way to the line. So well done, Sarah. Great to have you on the Chaingang. Always a pleasure when I can get a word in edgeways. If you think I talk a lot, Miss Cookie definitely talks more than I do, that is for sure. Next in is going to be Dave Ambrose, and Dave finishing his ride off here, one of our fantastic year members, and thank you very much, sir, for being part of the success that is the Chaingang. Next up is going to be Gagan and Tickle. It's Tickers using that drafting advantage as he comes up behind Gagan pushing it just under 2, just over 2 watts per kilo at the moment. So these are going to be our next 2 riders into the finish. So don't forget, make sure you give us a subscribe on the Full Speed Events channel, on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. Don't forget, of course, to make sure you give us a follow on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. Russ Downing, Donny Chaingang, Matt Fixer Payne. Don't forget, of course, if you want to get involved and help us support the people who make the riders themselves, then if you are in business, you want to give us a little bit of support, we're always looking at ways to reward our riders and say a big thank you to them. So make sure you get in touch with myself, Matt Payne. That's Matt at fullspeedevents.com. Don't forget, of course, if you want to have a ride, make sure you get joined up on the rides. You can join. All the rides are for free on Zwift, and we make sure that we bring you all of the action here on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. So please, guys, make sure you're here and with us. You'll see us out on the real roads in real life as well, and always great to say hi to our riders who are out on the events and at the races. And I think my first real life gig this year is likely to be a mountain bike gig, which is always good fun, and going to be a National XC. I suspect it's going to probably be the first of the gigs this year. So through comes Tickers. Mr. Tickhill comes through, then it's going to be our red beacon. It is Chloe Gagan. Fantastic stuff. I'm really proud of all of our beacons. I've got to say they are absolutely superb. So from me and Matt Payne, and from everybody on the Chaingang, from Russ, from Emma, from Carl Kapinski, Tim Cooper, all the guys who've helped out. There's too many to mention individually. Hopefully we covered a few of you in tonight's broadcast. It's been a pleasure this last year putting words to the action. I'm looking forward to mixing real life gigs with the Chaingang, which is going to continue all the way through the coming year. So from me, Matt Payne, here on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel, have a great weekend. Hopefully you'll catch up with some of you on Sunday when we're broadcasting next. In the meantime, enjoy the riding, enjoy Zwift. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in year 2 of the Donny Chaingang.